This is by John R. Dallas Jr. So I think what this quote is trying to tell us is that whatever goals we set for ourselves last year that we may have failed or did not come through the way we wanted, sometimes when we feel all of that failure, we see all that, our emotions get way heightened, and then we are not able to really come back and recoup. But sometimes at the end of the year, we come into ourselves, we calm down, and then try to look back that what were the things that I did wrong, where did I go wrong, what are the things I can do better, and then we push forward. So this is quite like an archer, you know, the people with a bow and arrow, yes. So sometimes maybe you aim and then you shoot, but you realize that maybe the wind threw your arrow off the direction you wanted to go. So you come back down into yourself and you realize, okay, the wind is blowing to the west. So I might be able to just capitalize on that and use the wind to help myself. This is after some retrospection. That is what I have for you today. And I'm sure my co-host also a few contributions, then we go. So Miriam, what do you also think about this quote?
Well, I think it's a good quote, and I mean, this year we started off very well, and all I can say is, all I can say is that instead of focusing on the negative things that happened in the past, why don't you channel that energy into being very productive this year? So the things that happened in the past that you did not like should sum up to be your experience that will prepare you for this year. So that is the little I can add to that quote.
Yes, so the little thing I just want to say is our experiences in 2024 should just put us on our toes for 2025. So everything we went through in 2024, after the review, after the 31st night, just put them together and move into 2025.
Wow, thank you so much. That was very beautiful. And so up next is our online news review with my co-host as usual. So do stay tuned.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy. Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our online news review with my co-host as usual. So let's get straight into it. Yes, Miriam and Clement, you are usually the information ministers. What's going on in the streets of Accra, Ghana, and the world as a whole?
Thank you very much, Ira. And a lot has been happening lately. I don't know why, but a lot has been happening in Ghana that we cannot talk about them like into details, and so we'll just touch on them and then move on. So the first has to do with yesterday, the sad news we had with our TV personality or journalist Kofi Adoma, CEO of Kofi TV. We heard that he has been shot in the eye and he's still in the hospital receiving treatment, but others have also alleged that it was just gunpowder.
That entered into
It is not anything serious, and so we are hoping that actually his wife came out to say that the husband is fine and he's still recovering, and so they'll address the public in due time. So that is what we heard yesterday, and yesterday we also heard that legendary Ghanaian music artist Teddy Osei of Osibisa fame had passed on, which was a very sad event that happened yesterday. We also heard in the news that Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traoré rejects IMF and World Bank loans, and he advocates for African self-reliance. And this is something that has got a lot of people talking, that why can't Ghana do same? Why can't our neighboring countries or other, similar countries like Ghana do same? And people are calling the government to also adapt this behavior, and we'll all head to a self-reliance country. So these are some of, and I have one funny story that I would want to talk about. So it has to do with the ban of baby hairs in a country, and I'm looking for the story. Actually looking for. Okay. So Clement, let's hear your trending story.
Yes. So as Mimi searched for that very story, let me take viewers to our presidency. I think that was last week. Our president-elect was formally inaugurated or sworn in as the president of the Republic of Ghana. And as he promised the people of Ghana that within 120 days he'll carry on certain taxes. So that is what we are following closely to make sure that very thing come to pass. As at Tuesday, he came out with a 10 list of nominated regional ministers, with the exception of six of them, that is Western Region, Western North, Bono Central, Bono East, and Upper East Region. So these 6 regions, currently we don't have nominated regional ministers for them. Aside that, too, he has also come out with a list of national security, let's say, coordinators, because we have in the likes of COP retired Kofi Boakye as the general operation in the presidency that's relating to national security. We also have the former chief of staff being the head, that is the advisor to the president on issues of national security. So these are the few things happening in terms of presidency. And we currently, there was a news about Get Fund. Yes, we want to tell.
Let me touch on the appointments
of
the regional ministers. And one of the ministers that a lot of people are happy about is that of the Ashanti regional minister, which is Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene.
Okay.
He's very popular on TikTok, and a lot of people are, commending the president for acknowledging the youth in his leadership. And when you look at the NDC, they are really, really activating the youth in their leadership. And I think it is a very good step, because the youth make up the majority of our numbers when it comes to voting and other things. And so if you get a lot of the youth leading, governance and other things, they are able to gather the youth and also bring up policies that align with the goals of the youth. So I think it is something that a lot of people are also talking about. So Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene,
yes,
Ashanti Regional
Minister nominated.
He was actually the Ashanti Regional Secretary for
General Secretary. Exactly.
So I think I even have the list here of the 10 regions and then the nominees. And so for Northern Region, we have Ali Adolf John. Oti Region, we have John Kwejo Japong, or Japong, the Ashantis, or the Akans. Then Volta, we have James Gunu. Then Eastern Region, we have Mrs. Rita Akosia Eje Awate. Then Northeast Region, we have Ibrahim Tia. Then Ashanti Region, we have Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, as you mentioned. Then for Upper East Region, we have Akumugri Donatus Atanga. Then we have Ahafo Region, we have Charity Gardner. Then Savannah Region, we have Salisu Be Awuribe. And for Greater Accra Region, we have Linda Oklu. These are the ministers, the regional ministers that have been nominated for these 10 regions. I think we are yet to hear about the six.
Yes,
the six remaining.
But one thing I just wanted to say before I go to the next trend happens to be the fact that we have 3 out of 10 females that's nominated. So you could see the fact that the president is trying to bring in that inclusiveness of the females, the gender. He's trying to balance it. I know the person of the bill even makes a projection that in 2025, 2028, going to see 30% of female in governance. So I think he's doing very well. The last story I just want to talk about is the fact that Get Fund postgraduate and undergraduate local scholarship application has been extended. Initially, the deadline was 15th January 2025, but now it has been extended to 31st January 2025. So our viewers who really want to go on postgraduate and undergraduate can actually apply through the scholarship portal of Get Fund. Yes, these are the trending stories.
I found my story. So Chicago, okay, so I'm trying to get the name right. Okay, so let's hold on the story. My producer says let's hold on the story.
All right. Thank you so much for your trending story. So do you have any of your digitalized newspapers, stories, trending front page stories as well?
Yes, I have with me Daily Graphic, today's Daily Graphic. And so, just as Clement said, we have the new security bosses named. The names are out, and also avoiding fuel shortages. WAPCO delays pipeline cleaning, and I think that story will be extended in our online news. And also, elect MMDCEs on partisan lines. Experts advocate. So, an advice coming from the experts to President John Dramani Mahama. As you know, I think a few days ago we saw that the appointments of these or contracts of these MMDCs have been scrapped off, and they are advising that he should elect the new ones on partisan lines. So that is what we have on the Daily Graphic, the front page of the Daily Graphic.
All right. Yes, Clement, what about you?
Yes, so this is a graphic business, and as you know, what has been trending of late happens to be the finance minister designates, that's Honorable Ato Forson. So the question is, he said from crisis to recovery, and people are still asking the question that can Forson plan rescue economy? So can what he has said so far rescue the economy? And also, when you go to page 2 of the graphic business, BOG warns of cyber security threats and also misinformation. So he said, in as much as the banking sector is performing well, there is still the threat of cybersecurity, where people are taking people funds illegally. So these are issues, are things that BOG governor is trying to tell us that the various banks and institutions should look at it very well, so that customers will not end up losing huge sums of money.
All right. Thank you so much. So let's go quickly into the online news. So the very first one says, WAPCO reschedules maintenance works to February 3. So the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited, WAPCO, has updated its schedule for the offshore pipeline cleaning and inspection, known as pigging, moving the start date from January 20 to February 3, 2025. Now, this 4-week exercise will temporarily halt reverse gas flow from Ghana's western region to Tema and shut down key facilities in Tema, Lomé, and Cotonou. So Lomé is in Togo and then Cotonou is in Benin. Then during this period, WAPCO will also replace subsea valves to improve safety. Now, this comprehensive exercise, required every 5 years, ensures safe operation of the West African gas pipeline and covers the entire infrastructure from Nigeria to Ghana. Now, the first phase was completed in December 2024, focusing on onshore sections in Nigeria. So it seems maybe they needed some more time to do some other deliberations and then move the date. So as long as these things will be done, I mean, it's maintenance works, and if maintenance is not undertaken for our pipelines and things like that, sometimes over some time they may not notice in time any small cracks or issues that may come up. So
but a lot of Ghanaians are also commending President John Dramani Mahama's administration for taking up this, because when he assumed power, a lot of people raised concerns of the fact that the energy sector was facing a huge crisis and were likely to face some form of load shedding or doomsday in the country. So people were, apprehensive about it. We were scared. We didn't know what was going to happen, and so they went into talks with the WAPCO, because they are also like a part of supplying energy to Ghana. Let me put it that way. So they also decided to embark on the activity of cleaning their pipelines, and I think the conversation was successful, and they had to extend the time to 2 weeks. Well, I'm coming from the point that if things like this will always be communicated earlier, a lot of people would have an information around what to do or how to plan their lives around these things, because 2 weeks away from today, people that are going to be affected by this would know when they will have to probably charge their phones, coming down to our level, do anything that has to do with energy and other things. And we'll also get more time to buy enough fuel to, power our energy sector. So I think it's something that we have to commend the current administration for. The instant communication or delivery of information is something that, seriously, that's something that the previous government was lacking. They never communicated issues to. By the time you realize we are out of power, you get it.
Mizzy, that's so wonderful. But this story has a lot of things that's, let's say, the makeup of this story. Actually, when you read the story, you realize that the president, let's say the president, he's not president, sorry, the president of the Republic of Ghana, in his first day in office, faced a situation of energy crisis. That is when he was informed that Ghana is likely to go on low schedule, as you said, doomsday. So as a measure of urgency, you need to put up a technical team who would sit and see the solution way forward. So it was chaired by the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra. And in the meeting, that's when they brought on board the then Deputy Finance Minister and currently the Majority Leader, that is Honorable Atufosun on board. They brought on board Honorable Amakofibwa. They brought on board, I think, Jinapo was also on board, because they have to sit with the various stakeholders, the GRIDCO, the WAPCO, all those people, VRA, and they came together to solve the issue. What's the issue all about? In the year 2024, they were supposed to do this maintenance exercise in the month of October. So then the previous government met with WAPCO and all this agency, and they told them that sake of the issue happening, they should just push it forward. So they push it to, that was January 20th, that exercise is supposed to take place. So I believe if you have a meeting with me as a supplier of gas for you to power your terminal, and at the end of the day, after me pushing it to 20th, you couldn't make any provision. So me, my first point of contact, I would just want to put to our energy sector. Thanks to God that the president has elected or has nominated energy minister designate, finance minister designate, and also attorney general minister designate. Reason being that these people would, as soon as possible, solve this situation. But in as much as we move from February 3rd to from January 20th to February 3rd, 2 weeks. The question is, can we procure liquid fuel in this short possible time in order to fuel the terminal plants that we have? Because if you're unable to procure this fuel for it to get into Ghana within that possible time, then the doomsday will still happen. Because when WAPCO goes off, as Yaira told us, Takoradi gas pipeline will not be able to supply gas to Tema. So the question is, would the energy sector be able to procure this? What happens during procurement? We can use a week for procurement processes. Delivery of crude oil from wherever it is to Ghana takes 3 weeks. When it comes to Ghana to Tema, it needs to go through what we call the testing process, of which that one also takes about 1 week to 2 weeks. So we are looking for a period of 4 to 5 weeks in order to solve this situation. Today's date is, I think, 16th. So if it had been postponed to 3rd of February, we have 16th to 3rd of February is just 3 weeks away. And now we need a space of approximately 4 to 5 weeks. So the question is, if procurement has not been done when president came to office, and if there have not been any process for delivery, then it's likely that by the 3rd of February we might not meet the target. And it's likely we are going to have possible load schedule. So this is the thing that I think government need to look at it very, very well. Do we have
load shedding for gas as well? Because this is a gas pipeline.
Yeah, so you see, when it comes to terminal plants, we need a gas to power the terminal. And that we generate electricity power so that we get the electricity that we need. We have so many forms of electricity that we enjoy. We have that of the gas, we have that of the hydro, and all these forms. So the WAPCO is one of the major contributions, suppliers of our powers. So that is why when they go off, it means a higher percentage of supply is off. So they're just now going to rely on the hydro and other means. So they're looking for other alternative. And the other available alternative is supposed to be the liquid fuel. And importing liquid fuel to Ghana have to take a process of about 4 to 5 weeks. So the question is, if it has not been done, then within these few weeks, can it be done?
Well, I think what you are saying is right. You have a point, but I also think, as you stated earlier, when President assumed power, he was met with a shock.
Exactly.
He didn't know this was, the pending issue that was awaiting him. So I think he has also made a step, a step, because that's supposed to happen.
Yes, way back 2024.
Get it, and so I think we should give him some time, but I would just advise that they should look into diversifying our energy, looking at other sources like the solar and, because come May what, it will still happen. We would have to go through the process because it is very important.
Yeah, let me say this last thing. I think in as much as they are looking for solution for this crisis, they should also hold people accountable.
Exactly.
Because it was your duty.
Yes.
If now Ghana is in doomsday, then whoever was the energy minister then, whoever who was part of that decision to postpone it to 20th of January should be held accountable. Because likely, sorry to say, he didn't think about us.
Yes.
Yes, he didn't think about us.
I'm sure more details about this will come up, and then we will get to the root as to why it's postponed. So the next story here says, halt reconstruction of Kantamanto Market. This is by the Ghana National Fire Service. So due to inadequate fire safety precautions and a lack of consultation, the Ghana National Fire Service has voiced worries over traders continuing to rebuild the Kantamanto Market. Now, on January 2, 2025, the market, a significant gathering place for used apparel in Accra, was completely destroyed by fire. Now, millions of Ghana cedis worth of goods and hundreds of stores were damaged in the fire, leaving businessmen and women eager to rebuild and go back into business as soon as possible. Now, to allow for adequate planning and the integration of safety systems and fire-resistant materials, as well as other considerations, the Ghana National Fire Service has recommended that the reconstruction process be put on hold. Well,
I'm happy that this story is coming up in our discussions, because when it happened, I think we were still, in recession.
Yeah. That was 2nd January.
Of course. It is a sad event that happened, and of course, it wasn't something that happened for the first time.
Yeah.
Apparently, for like the past 5 years, it has been happening, consistently every year. We experienced a fire outbreak in Kantamanto, and this is not the first time. My question is, can the Ghana Fire Service be proactive for once? Can they be proactive for once? Because now they are saying they should halt the reconstruction and then allow them to have a proper plan for the market's construction, and then know where to really place, and also have some kind of intervals so in case of emergencies they can come in. But why should we wait for things like this to happen before we come out with solutions?
But the situation too is that the market is a very big, crowded place. I mean, we've all been to Kantamanto every now and then. And it would not even, if we are being realistic, it would not be feasible to come and tell these people, come out, take all your stuff, go and park somewhere, sit somewhere, let us rebuild the place. So, fine, it's happening. Sometimes everybody says we should always look for the silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining. So yes, this dark cloud is over us now, but still there's a silver lining, which is that we can now use this as an opportunity to rebuild and then do the necessary things. On Tuesday, we had the divisional officer here with us, Mr. Desmond Aka, who was also telling us, he was even making a comparison of the Kaneshie market, that now the way it has been rebuilt and made, they have precautions put in place for fire safety. So if they are saying this, my concern would even be that how quickly can we do this? How, and then where, these people also have their wares, they need to go back into business. This is somebody's livelihood. So where would they be for the meantime, for the consultations to happen, and then a planning kind of thing goes on where this side of the market, Accra, is reconstructed, planned properly, they put up the shop and things like that. It needs to be done quickly, because Kantamanto is pretty big. Where are we relocating all these people to while we do all these consultations? And we know Ghanaians and our bureaucracy, it will take a very long time. So that is my concern about it. But it is a very good initiative. The fire service wants to help these people. That
I understand,
they need to put things in place.
They're not being proactive. That is my problem. Because
what exactly is the proactivity you're talking about?
Because we saw in the news in Techiman something like this happened. The markets went down, and the people were frustrated that when they called the fire service, they said they did not have some equipment. So these are some of the things that keep a lot of people wondering, because Kantamanto, when it happened, a lot of them said when they came there, they didn't see what the fire service were doing. So is it now that the thing has happened that you are now coming to tell us that you need to investigate, you need to help in the layout and other things?
So when the fire service official was here, he mentioned that it was a large fire, and with the way the place was and how the fire even started and everything, they were not even able to investigate because of the materials in the place. It's a lot of wood and things like that. So it was why they had to even go and get some some equipment from the other fire service stations around to help. So they needed more than, I think, about 5, if not more, to be able to cater to this fire. And the way the fire was going, you can't even handle from just one side. You needed to go all around it. And from the videos we saw, so even he mentioned that, yes, they need help. They are lacking a lot of things. So, yes, the fire service also needs help. But for the issue of proactivity, I think they are being proactive here, because these people are already
happened, and this is not the first time.
Yes, but they are saying that
this in about 3 markets.
Yes, and they are saying that they shouldn't rebuild just yet, because they've started again with wood. And now, if they rebuild back to what it looked like previously, if a fire starts again, we're going to be down again. And there's a saying, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, it's insanity. Now they're saying, let us do some consultation, let us, have some conversation about what equipment and material we can use to rebuild this place and restructure the place in a way that would be safe. So if it means that maybe they will use more concrete instead of wood, they would do the electrical wiring and then prevent people from the illegal tapping that tends to cause these fires, then they do something like that. Then when they restructure, as to the ventilation, like you were talking about, spaces, putting up fire hydrants or fire extinguishers and things like that. But the problem is, how quickly can that be done? That is what we should look at, because what they are saying, it is very, very important. If we rebuild and then the fire starts again, another problem.
So, Era, let me just say this. It's sad that this keep happening. As Mimi was saying, this 2025 alone, I think we have about more than 5 fire instances. Yes, Greater Accra, Volta region also recording some.
Even the north, some up in the north.
Ashanti region also recording, and as he said, Techiman also have this kind of incidents. When you talk about the Kantamanto, it's a business hub, as we all mentioned. The question is, if fire service are saying that these people should halt reconstruction of the markets, the question you ask, where would they go? Are they having a place for them for the meantime? Because these people's livelihood, that only place is a source of income. That is the only place they get money to take care of their families. They don't do any government work, they don't do any monthly work that if they should go and sit somewhere, someone will pay them at the end of the month. So these are the issues that we should take a critical look at. And you see, some even of our mothers lost their life because of shocks of their items getting burned and stuff. Yesterday in an interview, one of the women said they have a woman, let's say a coordinator, who used to take their monies, all the women's money, and keep it. According to her, she doesn't send the money home. It was in her shop, and the money got burnt. So they were just in the market, and the woman just had heart attack. They rushed her to the hospital, and this woman did not survive. So you could see the instances that we are getting from this Kantamanto fire outbreak. Someone is alone, and so these are the things that, in terms of our business, the government, the municipal assemblies, the various agencies need to come together. So before even these people started reconstruction, I believe the fire service, as they are saying, or all agencies, they should have had a meeting. They should have. We shouldn't wait for them to start reconstruction before I did go to say something. You shouldn't wait for them to start reconstruction before you sit on air. It was an interview that person had with one of the media houses, and you sit on air to say, I don't know, well, maybe they have had a communication with the leadership of Kantamanto, I can't tell. But if that communication was not done, and you sit on air to say that they should halt reconstruction, people will be like, you take monthly salary. I don't do that. So all these steps should have been done. Just after you quench the fire in any other way, you have different departments. So let the other department take over.
Exactly.
Now we've not gotten even the cause of the fire yet. We've not gotten it. So as at now, as Mimi was saying, they should be proactive in it. As at now, it's more than a week, getting to 2 weeks about this incident happened. So at least within 3 days, we should have gotten the cause of the fire. So because if you know the cause of the fire, that is when you know the solution or the preventive measure. But if you don't know the cause, what is the solution you're going to give? Now you've not told the customer or the country the cause of this fire. Now you are telling them we should stop reconstruction. As you are saying, how long?
They have needs.
How long? And I understand them, because one, as we are saying, they are using wood again. And we know how wood is very flammable. So you can just in as much as I would say some for our women, I would equally say that they should also.
We had men also there.
Yes, so exactly. I would also say that they should check what they are using in the reconstruction, because this kind of wood, anything can happen.
So in this situation now, then the fire service officials shouldn't just sit and make suggestions or recommendations. They should rather seek out I think Kantamanto some leadership.
Yeah, they have leadership.
And then, or even with the government, and then start doing something. Maybe, I mean, there are so many architects.
Yeah.
Draw a plan quickly. All of this could be done within a few days, so that the needed things would, but then also the reason I was saying it will take long is that the budgeting for materials and things like that, so it is something that may stretch. So if this is what fire service is saying, and I mean it does make sense, then we need to find an alternative for them for the meantime, so that this reconstruction can be done very quickly, and then they can move back into their shops.
So on the issue of leadership, yesterday I saw a video trending where some of these traders were really hurt, and they were sad that apparently some of the leaders have received some donations.
Yes, but they
haven't really given anything to them, which is so sad, because you, the leaders, you don't trade with them. You are not there with them. Most of them are somewhere.
Yeah.
And then when the incidents came, they are the leaders, so they took the money. So they should really pay attention to that and help them in any way they can, because they are really suffering. And back to the fire service issue. There are so many markets in Ghana now. So apparently I saw a news that someone is going to install some secret cameras to check if people
even the fire service official mentioned on Tuesday
that if it is intentional, these fire outbreaks are arson
and these things will require planning. You can't put that in those wooden structures and expect.
So all I'm saying is that the proactiveness comes in here. There are so many existing marketplaces that have not yet been burned down. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. In just a month, we've experienced life. Or even more.
And this is based on the way the market is.
There should be some kind of, I don't know, communication or planning, for these markets that are yet.
Definitely will take time, because
we shouldn't assume for them, Yaira.
No, I'm not talking.
It's part of their job. They should do it
for them. It's in the sense that we take the size of the place. Now, how many stalls are there? How many stalls are going to be constructed? Let's say they are going to use cement, to do a small shop or make it a story building. You are going to have to count the number of people and then the size, because shop A may be bigger than shop B. All these things need to be taken into account. That is why it will take some time. So in this situation, they should find a place for them to start their market again while they start reconstructing quickly, because it's happening in Medina. There are markets, the shops are being rebuilt, the people have relocated, they've adjusted, and you can see the structures being put up small. Some of the ready structures, some people have already occupied, but then you can see that it is going on hand in hand. But if we leave them to rebuild again and the fire happens, we're in the dry season, it's till probably April, right?
So in the interim, I can also suggest that, well, they've started already, so let them continue, but set some precautions for them, because I heard a lot of people use, gas cylinders, there is this place in Kantamanto, when you pass there, it's like hell. I've never been there before. So apparently they use these hot irons to iron their jeans and other things. That place is full of fire. So they can set some, preventive measures for them, and then they can live there till anything is done.
The main reason why you can see this reconstruction has just started so quickly, it's not because they fear that they will lose the land. When you listen to most of the interview, they fear that private developers will come and take over the land. That is the reason why they are doing all these things. They can decide to wait for the government to put in measures in place, but they fear. Because we know in Ghana we've had a lot of instances that they want to use this land for this purpose, at the end of the day another purpose. So this is the fear of our mothers and our fathers. That's why they've started reconstructing.
It's very easy to just get news that a portion of the land is sold or is in somebody's will.
So these are all the issues that they
so let's take a few comments and then we wrap up. So HM Joe says, good morning Yaira and co-hosts. Cocoa Digest we can procure. Our invited guest speaker for the presidential inauguration, His Excellency Bola Tinubu, said he's ready to work with our president. So getting liquid fuel from Nigeria to Ghana will be on time. Thank you. Now, Michael Amweni also says, good morning Clock TV, you're all looking good as always. Give us our cocoa for the weekend. Can you drink it? Now, Godfred Adams says, I think our markets need proper planning when it comes to safety from unforeseen events. But then again, the Ghana National Fire Service should have a plan for markets in general, no matter the layout. Thank you so much for your comments. Please do keep them coming in as well. So it boils back down to planning and not just saying, but you see, they call it talk na do, right? So you say something, you do something. So we hope that the Ghana National Fire Service will also take up some initiatives and then, be proactive, as my co-hosts have been saying. So we are expecting to see some proactivity. Yes, so this brings us to the end of the online news review. Thank you so much once again for joining me here. And up next is the business segment with Clement Yabankwe. He'll be taking us through our stock markets and all the money matters. Please stay tuned.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
My name is Patience Anand. I am a young public speaker. Of course, I have built my communication and critical thinking skills.
My name is Winnie Godlawe. I am a young public speaker. Of course, it has built my connection and networking skills. Thank you.
I am a young public speaker, of course. I have enhanced my career opportunities in aspects like law, business, teaching, and politics. I am Nana Kofi Edifo.
I am a young public speaker. Of course, I facilitate knowledge, sharing and promoting critical thinking. Fred Frimpong Anshimon is my name.
Of course, I have learned life skills which will prepare me for real life situations. I am Samuel Kankambochi. Thank you.
I have community engagement and social change. My name is Mame Sewa Sapon. Thank you.
Yes, you heard them right. YPS unlocks numerous opportunities for children, from presentation skills to public debate skills.
It also empowers individuals to communicate effectively, lead, and to make a lasting impact.
To register your child or your school on YPS, contact the number 055-866-3068. YPS Express to Impress.
YPS Express to Impress.
What for? Asamu maumatia. Yamane diania. Ubinka seputuishi. Esesia. Ibikilika.
Mungwari oba biase. Oba uba be mama mi. Bebe se bebi usese wunye.
Wala ka cho kuna na hunu. Kali hunu wana ko ne yiripeni na wo ba ko.
E ba be. Aba no wano. Nye bu stepani atrase ahedin. Oyire no mu miemi. Bi ni ma ma oba be. Tami se ko sie. Onye ma do. Emenya ya fu. Na me se me wa be.
Ko sie e fi wisa. Oba. Sada na. Free access quality.
Wo mahama man kan kyerɛ so na nanu anim akɔla no hɔ hwɛ.
Nim si amamro phone aye di nipa moja na ya pae no. Obetimi asesa no. So bu ene ku so. Esan abro ni beyent. Umbe so beyent.
Ahom ketu amaba mu dwama no.
Ebeni fosi. Baby ade ni dara se wan fan to. Be petro. Wo ba da ben a obesesa amamre. Nimpo amamre na obesesa no wote ase.
Sid.
How have you been?
Okay. You?
Good.
Good morning, welcome to the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Into today's stories, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies has raised concern about the possible fuel shortage in the coming days. According to the Chamber, the situation stems from the suspension of the Gold for Oil program and the cessation of refining operations by Steno Oil. Addressing the matter, Dr. Rivison Opon, CEO of the Chamber, called on the government to act quickly and decisively to prevent the expected shortfall.
By 2026. The DFS estimates an initial capital expenditure of $116 million with the post-tax net present value of $516 million at a gold price of $250,000 per ounce. The project is projected to generate $675 million in net cash flow, highlighting its strong economic potential. Asante plans to adopt advanced underground mining methods, including sub-level open stopping and mechanized cut and fill, to optimize resources extractions from the main and wash pits. These efforts complement ongoing surface mining operations, ensuring consistent production as the underground phase scales up. This expansion reflects Asante Gold's commitment to sustainable growth and solidifies its standing as a major gold producer in Ghana.
To end with, Absa Bank has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Ghanaian small business by donating 150,000 Ghana cedis to assist traders affected by the January 2nd fire disaster. The donation included 100,000 Ghana cedis in cash and 50,000 Ghana cedis worth of roofing sheets to help rebuild the livelihood of those impacted.
The presentation held at the Kantamanto market was attended by Absa Bank officials and representatives of the various trading associations. Speaking at the event, Kobla Nyalete, managing principal of Absa Bank Ghana, expressed deep sympathy for the traders' losses and highlighted the bank's proactive measures to support recovery efforts. Mr. Nyalete announced 3 key initiatives: the 150,000 Ghana cedi donation, the provision of loans at a competitive 10% interest rate, and plans to establish an Absa branch within the Kantamanto market to ensure easy access to banking services. Audrey Abaka, Director of SME, Agency Banking and Partnerships at Absa, also emphasized the bank's dedication to empowering traders through innovative financial solutions tailored to their needs.
Thank you for staying with us for the Business Update segment. I am Clement Yabankwe. Do enjoy the rest of the show.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
My name is Patience Anand. I am a young public speaker. Of course, I have built my communication and critical thinking skills.
My name is Winnie Godlawe. I am a young public speaker. Of course, it has built my connection and networking skills. Thank you.
I am a young public speaker, of course. I have enhanced my career opportunities in aspects like law, business, teaching, and politics. I am Nana Kofi Edifo.
I am a young public speaker. Of course, I facilitate knowledge, sharing and promoting critical thinking. Fred Frimpong Anshimon is my name.
Of course, I have learned life skills which will prepare me for real life situations. I am Samuel Kankambochi. Thank you.
I have community engagement and social change. My name is Mame Sewa Sapo. Thank you.
Yes, you heard them right. YPS unlocks numerous opportunities for children, from presentation skills to public debate skills.
It also empowers individuals to communicate effectively, lead, and to make a lasting impact.
To register your child or your school on YPS, contact the number 055-866-3068. YPS Express to Impress.
YPS Express to Impress.
Are you ready to groove to the beat of vibrant Afrobeat?
Whatever. Asamu maumatia. Yamane diania. Ubinkase buduishi. Neseshia. Ibikilika.
Nungwari oba biase. Wapo uba be mama mi. Bebe se bebi usese unye.
Wale kacho kuna na huniwo. Kali huniwo na kwa nini iripeni na ubako?
Babe. Abano wano. Nyebusi penya trans ya hidin. Oyire no mu mienu. Bi ni mama oba be. Kutani se ukosie. Oni mado. Emenya ya fu. Na me se me
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
Of Mrs. Hannah Abrahams appear, and she's here in the studio with me. Let's get straight into the conversation. Hello, ma.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
Wonderful.
Right. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Wow. I'm so happy to meet you as a young lady coming up. I know definitely I would have to settle one way or the other. And so topics like this.
Expectations. It's one of the major issues. The two parties in the relationship don't tell each other clearly what they expect. So as a female, I expect the man to know he's going to be the provider. The man expects you to be the homemaker, the housekeeper. But there may be other expectations I have, and I wouldn't mention it. The man is also expecting you to understand that the economy has changed.
Exactly.
He doesn't have enough money, so definitely he has budgeted with your money without telling you he has. And they don't plan accordingly. So there are financial problems, communicated expectations, there are personality differences, there are changing trends. There's social media, which has now become a medium of information for which people now are living their lives according to that. There is a lot of comparison and competition unconsciously. There's the phone. It is now the major third party in relationships. Before it was friends. Now it's the phone. So these are all amongst many others, and communication, major issues that are causing problems.
So I think on Tuesday we had a conversation here, and we had to discuss certain intentions for our new year. And as part of the conversation, our guest made mention of the fact that if you meet somebody who is interested in you, ask the person what they really want from you. And you made mention of the fact that in marriages, sometimes there are unexpected,
uncommunicated expectations.
Now, can you really walk us through like that in trying to understand that? Because I don't really understand. Is it that my expectations have not been communicated to my partner, or my partner is lacking to understand, or does not really understand my expectations?
Okay, so when we say uncommunicated expectations, every person has an expectation. As you sit in here, you even have an expectation of me today. Now, I also have expectations of you. So two people, a male and a female, coming together in a relationship, they have expectations. So like a female, a typical female today expects a young man to provide for her. House, get money in a few years, build, provide her with a car, upkeep, take care of her, take her out on dates, prayer, fellowship. These are among the basic expectations. The man also expects a wife who will serve him, cook, clean, do all the housework, be there. He may also be expecting that you will help him financially without telling you. Or not even mentioning. He will expect that you will take care of his family, his siblings, his parents, that he was already taking care of before he got married. But they didn't have the conversation.
Some will also argue that we had the conversation.
Yes.
We understood each other.
We thought we did.
We thought we did, actually. Yeah.
We thought we did, because that's where many people, the problem comes in, because many people think they understand each other. So they have the conversations, but when reality, where the time meets the road, where reality sets in, you realize that, do they have the capacity to handle the realities? You get a husband who is earning, let me use a typical Ghana salary structure, maybe 4,000 a month. And the wife is earning, let's say 6,000 a month. And the wife has plans for her money, but they didn't discuss how they were going to put that 6 and 4 together to make 10. And the wife is expecting that, no, you are the head of the home. So the rent, the bills, everything is on you. Or they decide, you take the rent and the bills, I will take food, forgetting that food prices can skyrocket. So most of those homes where the partner takes food, when we are 2, it's okay. But suddenly we have 4 more children, plus your husband's brother, and then your mother-in-law. Are you getting the reality? So when the reality is set in, suddenly you realize that the expectations are not as you thought. Some people also have no idea what they really want. They know they don't want certain things, but they really don't know what they want. So the conversation they had before marriage was not total. It was not in-depth, and that's some of the issues that come.
So to you, what would you say resilience is in marriage, in the context of marriage?
In the context the challenges that will come, and whether you like it or not, they will come. It depends on how you see it. There are people who have challenges, but they have decided to overlook it. And so the way it will affect person A, it may not affect the same person B, because one has a stronger adversity quotient than the other party because of our personalities, our upbringings. There are some people who, when they fail, they can bounce up. There are people who fail, they get stuck. So who are you? What's your personality? How do you handle failure? How do you bounce back? What do you see as a problem? Somebody, when there's no money, there's a problem. And somebody, when there's no money, I hit the road and I survive. You know, we can learn a lot from the market women. Every morning they show up. Whether it's tomatoes today they are selling, tomorrow is orange, they are survivors. But you'll find another person working in a government institution who loses his job, and for 6 years he's still at home because he lost his job. But these other women are going. So that one cannot handle adversity. These can. So how do we handle adversity?
Wow. It's getting interesting here on the lifestyle segment of Cocoa Digest Morning Show. You can get interactive with us via our streaming platforms, Facebook and also YouTube. We have our WhatsApp number displayed on the screen right now. You can also send in your comments to us and we'll gladly read them out. I'm also live on my TikTok, and so yeah, I'm seeing a lot of comments, but unfortunately I cannot read them. Thank you so much for bringing in your comments as well. Now, let's go back to the spiritual aspect. I don't know how to put it, but a lot of people are very apprehensive when it comes to marriages these days. And it's as if we are taking out the spiritual aspect of it. And even those that are married, they don't really know how to incorporate the spiritual aspect to help the marriage work out. So from your spiritual or pastoral background, how would you say couples can really incorporate, that belief, that spiritual aspect into their marriages so that the marriages can overcome their adversities?
Okay, so you see, it depends on how you look at things. First and foremost, if you understand origin, we are first and foremost created in the image and likeness of Christ, of God, according to Genesis 1:26. So we are spirits with souls living in a body. So when we get married, yes, most people look at the physical aspect, I like her look, like her figure, I like her hair, but there's the spirit of that person. Number two, marriage was instituted by God. So it is not a human institution, it's not a human organization. So what did the Creator have in mind when he instituted marriage? And then how did he expect this marriage union to be like? With that understanding, it's important to get knowledge, to understand, one, the basis of marriage. Why marriage? If you read Malachi 4:14, you have been unfaithful to the wife of your youth, yet she is with you for a covenant. So marriage is a covenant. When you understand those dynamics, and you understand that there are principles, first and foremost, there should be unconditional love. But many people don't start with that. They start with the feeling, the human, the eros. The erotic love is usually primary for most people, before even the filial, before the agape. So when you understand that God created a spirit, and there's a spiritual dimension, then you understand that what can keep your marriage is that spiritual force of one having God as a witness between the two of you. Number two, when you are a Christian and you are Christ-like, you now apply the principles of forgiveness, of patience, of tolerance. Galatians 5:22-23 comes to play. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, and self-control. If you have these, there will be no problem. But the question is, are we able to cultivate these principles? These are the spiritual dimensions of it. There is also sometimes an overboard, in the sense that people spiritualize sometimes, because Ghana is a very religious kind of country. We over spiritualize things that we must logically think through. And so some people take steps of faith in issues that they may not really have that word of God backing those steps of faith. Then it looks as if they are not taking right, wise spiritual steps. They are two different things. But God's word does not fail. So if you have based your marriage on God's word, you have based your marriage on divine principles, you have based your marriage with Christ as a witness, as the pillar, as the example, you would find out that there will be storms. but because you are on a rock, your building heaves, but it still stays. But when it's on the sand, based on the fleeting things of life, money, emotions, the way I think, the way I feel, my ideology, social media, then these all crumble. And then whether you know it or not, or whether you like it or not, you may have nothing at the end of the day.
Interesting. I like the dimension at which you are taking us through, and I also like the scriptures you mentioned, and I know our viewers are taking notes. Yes, today you will learn the Bible by force. You have to read your Bible today, and so thank you so much for that. But earlier you made mention of the fact that communication is key. Everyone says communication is key, yet when people are hit with adversities in marriages, they hardly communicate. They don't even know how or where to even start from. What advice can you give, or what practical advice can you give to our couples anytime they are hit by adversities on how to communicate?
You see something? Yeah. Communication is an art.
Yeah.
Communication is learned. Many of us assume we know how to communicate. We may know how to speak, but communication does not involve only speaking. It's transmitting information, how the information is received, and then there's a feedback. So that whole process is what we call communication.
So communication is different from speaking.
It's different from speaking. So you could speak, but nobody heard. You didn't communicate.
Exactly.
What are you saying?
Exactly.
I think my husband uses this example a lot. When you said va in French and va in Ewe,
yeah.
One is come, one is go. But they're all va.
Okay.
Va mijo.
Yeah.
Come and let's go. But vas-y.
Vas-y.
You see, or viens ici. Va. Il va. There are so many different ways of understanding what is said. Yeah. So what is important in communication is learn how to speak, learn how to transmit the information, and make sure what you intend is what is received. Now, you said when adversity comes, many people suddenly don't communicate well. Yes, because in the midst of the storm, you now see different emotional reactions. People are no longer calm. It's like you are in a sinking boat. That's when you see those who will be screaming for Jesus and grabbing, and you see those who can be calm in the midst of the storm. Yeah. So your real nature actually surfaces when the storms start facing. That's when, if you have learned how to be calm facing storm, transmits information clearly to be sure that it is understood and it can be done the way you want it, then you can achieve what intention you had before you started.
Let's take some comments which are coming in. So we have this praise Hanok, and she's saying, God bless you, Pastor Hannah Abrahams Apia, for your submission. Thank you so much for bringing in your comment. We also have this from Bobby Becky, and he's saying, good morning. Please, is it true that some women are not supposed to be married due to spiritual issues? I've seen a family where women were able to live with their partners to the end. Is prayer enough to solve this problem, or one has to go to know the source so you can tackle that from that angle? So this is more or less like a spiritual question. So let me take it again. Is it true that some women are not supposed to be married due to spiritual issues? I have seen a family where most of the women were able to live with their partners to the end. Others too were not able to live to the end. Is prayer enough to solve this problem, or one has to get to know the source so you can tackle that from that angle? And this is a common question that people, and it's even deterring a lot of people from marrying these days.
Yeah. You know, because of our African context, we believe and we know that there are a lot of spiritual forces that contest in family dynamics and life in general. Yeah. So you would hear that certain families have covenants where the girls are not supposed to get married. Yeah. And so these spiritual forces exist. They call them spiritual causality. So there's a spiritual cause for a particular reason. Maybe there was a forefather who needed something and went to do a covenant with the gods and then gave up his daughters. Okay. Yes, these things exist. But when you are a child and you are in Christ, these generational curses are broken. Some of them you have to deal with them prayerfully through deliverance. Others too, you have to the right knowledge and principles. There are many people fighting unseen forces that really don't exist. But it has come to be believed that in our family we don't stay in marriage. But it might not necessarily be that they don't stay in marriage. It may be a behavioral pattern or a trait in the family that makes things difficult. So maybe they grew up with an angry parents. So the children in that home are usually very angry or very aggressive. And they get into marriage and the marriage breaks. Even if it is a pattern, you must find it, address it prayerfully and also therapeutically. Because sometimes you go for therapy, counseling, you would realize that some of these behaviors surface. And then there are many people who like blaming things on a spiritual tangent when it has to do with character problems that they just need to work on.
Let's take this question too. This is from Godfred Edem. Interesting conversation there. My question is, would you say social media those perspectives on marriage?
It has. See, our perspectives are formed by the things we see, the things we hear, and the ideologies we form by the knowledge that we gain. So social media has come to present an image, a front that gives us access to a lot of information in a short time. I need to go to Instagram and I can see what weddings look like now. It's making some of us who got married 23 years ago wish we could remarry. Not because of the marriage, but fanfare of the weddings, the prenuptial pictures and everything. So social media has changed dynamics. Today people are doing family content, but a lot are staged, a lot are not real life. So people are having imageries of people, of homes, of relationships, of marriages, of dating experiences, of proposals, which really are not realistic. And the other partner may not be able to meet it. So you are putting a lot of undue stress on people to meet up to social media standards, not to real life standards.
That's so deep. I hope your question has been answered, Edem. And thank you so much for bringing in your comments. You can keep them coming. We have about 5 minutes to end our conversation here. But the exciting part of this conversation is that our guest, Madam Hannah Abraham Sapia, is an author, and just as I said, she has written so many books, and we have 2 of them in the studio this morning. So we have Wedding Bells and also Hurricane Love, and this is what we want to talk about, because the metaphor in here is my next question. What inspired you to give this book such a title?
Okay, so Hurricane Love was a book written to help young couples, older couples, in fact, all the different age ranges of couples who are going through conflicts in marriage. Because of my work, doing a lot of marriage counseling, you find out that a lot of people are going through conflicts, marriage conflicts. Now, in writing that, I use the narrative method approach in my writing. So you're writing a story and weaving in the counseling principles. So when problems come in the marriage, whether it's communication, whether it's divorce, whether it is a child in the marriage, stepchildren issue, how do we help this with the right issues? So the title Hurricane Love was inspired by the latest hurricane that was made global news, which was Hurricane Milton. It was going into Florida. And I just had a challenge personally for which I had to travel to Florida. And so when I was thinking through of the title for the book, I just realized that no, when hurricanes are coming, the whole city becomes on a high alert. They are boarding up the windows, some are evacuating because you can't control the force of the storm coming. And it hits houses, can kill people if you are not prepared. And that's exactly what happens for many young couples, older couples, who supposedly thought they were in love. So we are walking in love and we live happily ever after. Then there's a communication problem, a finance problem, an ability to have children. And it blows into our marriage and shakes the foundation of our love. So Hurricane Love was chosen because hurricanes are given names. And usually they are names that are picked by the World Meteorological Organization, and different names are given using the alphabets. So I wanted an alphabet that would depict the stories, the conflicts, and that's how come I chose Hurricane Love.
I must say it is very catchy. It is a catchy name, actually. When I was reading the review of the book, I wrote down this question that I'll ask you. The book addresses myth about why people stay, leave, or miss warning signs in marriages.
Yes.
Which myth do you find most eye-opening or relevant?
All the myths are relevant, but for me, why people stay. Because why people stay, people have a lot of sentimental attachments to things. So people get married and maybe in a turbulent marriage, but they will stay because culturally it is frowned upon to leave. As a Christian, it is frowned upon to leave.
And do you think it is right for people to stay in marriages when they are not even happy?
Happy is an emotional state, and so using happy, there is fulfilled is also an emotional state. Fulfillment, happiness, they are emotional states, and these are fleeting. They are not strong enough, and they are not strong basis for which you should walk out of a marriage. But if you say life-threatening, where you have a husband who picks a cutlass, chasing you, then for safety, even in counseling, we advise sometimes be apart until issues are properly resolved. So life-threatening issues are a reason, but emotional issues change because I may be angry with you because you are not giving me hugs every morning. What if you start giving me the hugs? I will not have that unfulfilled. So fulfillment, happiness are temporal, but real issues are the reason. Some people said irreconcilable differences, but usually they are usually personality changes. They are belief systems, the ideologies, and these ones can all be worked on. So there is really nothing impossible. It is a perspective and it is a willingness to go through the process.
Thank you so much, Madam Hannah. And where can we get copies of this book?
You can get copies of this book by texting or calling, preferably texting on WhatsApp. The number 054 706 4982.
054
706 4982.
Please mention that again so that we get it.
054 706 4982.
Okay, so let me take this last comment and then we will wrap up. Good morning. Great submissions by Reverend Hannah Abrahams Appiah. Thank you, Clock TV. I will urge all listeners to grab copies of her books. This will surely transform your life. God bless you. Isaac Omar Quarantine, Director, Save Marriage Foundation. Okay,
that's so nice.
We have some recommendations coming in, and we also someone is requesting for your number actually because I think it's the same person who asked the question in relation to the spiritual marriage.
Okay,
and he wants to know how these cycles can be broken. The person is requesting for your number. If you can mention that again.
They should text to the number we just gave. Just text. It works. Text better than calls.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Please, do you have any upcoming program or book review or anything that you would want our viewers to know about before we wrap up?
Okay. Major upcoming programs are a program called The Complete Graduate, which I work with university students. So you can follow me on all the social media handles. Hannah Abrahams Appiah on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on YouTube, and then you would get access to the latest trending programs.
Thank you so much. And that was Madam Hannah Abrahams Appiah, and she is our guest, or she was our guest for the Lifestyle Conversation today, and her number is still on the screen, and so you can grab that and send her a text if you want her books, any of her books, and she will gladly respond to that. We discussed overcoming adversities and building resilience in marriages, and I hope you learned something today. If you didn't learn anything, I hope you wrote down some scriptures because you will need them. You really need to back with the word of God. Thank you so much, Ma. Now, up next is our birthday segment. Please stay with us and let's celebrate some amazing personalities.
I heard heard today was your birthday. I 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 heard today was your birthday.
And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. It is time to celebrate some amazing personalities today. And so let's have our first birthday celebrant. Okay, so we have this to David from Jesse. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. May this year bring you nothing but joy, laughter, and all the things that make you smile. You deserve the very best. Thank you so much for bringing in your message. So from the entire AGSA community, we would like to wish you a happy birthday for your wonderful and committed service to the community progress. You are one of a kind. God bless you and your family. Our AGSA vibe still holds. A happy birthday. On this special day of yours, may God increase you financially, economically, and health-wise. Stay blessed. And this is from PL to Samuel Amankwa. A happy birthday to Abigail. Continue to be special as you've always been. Enjoy your day as always. Be blessed, sweetheart. This is from Emmanuel to Abigail. Thank you, Emmanuel, for bringing in your message. We also have this on your birthday. I hope you take time to reflect on all the incredible things you've accomplished and how much you mean to the people in your life. Wishing you the happiest of days. Okay, and this is from Dr. Josephine. There's no name. Okay. A happy birthday, little sis. God bless you and grant you all your heart's desires. Cheers to good health and long life. You will always be mommy's handbag. Okay, so this is from Akosia to my little sis. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for bringing in your messages. A happy day to Wendy of Comsa 2020, I guess. Yeah, happy birthday to you, Wendy. Wishing you the very best as you celebrate your birthday today. And this is especially from me to you. Thank you for everything you did for me. And I hope you have the best of birthdays today. Now, thank you so much for bringing in your messages. Up next is our sports news. Please stay with us.
Pedro Porro to deliver. Manchester City's 2024, a year of both history and hysteria, of unparalleled achievement and underachievement, with the fourth straight league title and autumnal implosion. With real pace, Burmo releasing Johan Wissa. Great tackle. Janel. Damsgaard! Flag is up. Ortega's got a decision to make here. I think he's made the wrong one. Wissa! What a good block. Savinho.
smuggled away by Aston Villa. Well, Calvert-Lewin coming close for Everton. And we've given it away back to Villa, and Morgan Rogers has steered it through for Watkins. He's through again and with the goalkeeper to beat, and this time he does the job for Aston Villa. Everton give possession away cheaply and are punished heavily. Swung in again, and there's the header. Been a lot of huff and the second half. Not too much in terms of chances created, but there might be now. That was the moment, and Calvert-Lewin couldn't take it. Big
Didn't quite get it right at the other end. Here's an opportunity. Effort goes in. It was Jean-Philippe Mateta who got the right-footed drive away. He have other ideas, and now Mavididi at the other end slots it forward towards Jamie Vardy. Vardy one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And Nessa goals plays the ball forward towards JP Mateta, goes around the goalkeeper, and there is the first goal of the night. It's JP Mateta, a real familiar source. Nice celebration too, but you could just see as soon as the manager Cheptegei gets a good little interception there, carries the charge forward. That's a free kick. What can he produce? Just floats one in towards that far side. Effort goes in, and would you believe it, the lead has been doubled. That is a clinical finish. It's Mark Gahey, the captain. A fine volleyed finish. Palace needed that second goal. You just felt it could be crucial. Leicester will play the ball forward.
In the 34th minute, Hwang comes on the inside, given away to Bruno. Then Murphy, referee's going to let play go. Newcastle have the advantage. Murphy sidesteps his man. Isak wants it. It's Gordon. Oh, he's left it for Isak. And they've gone wide rather than forwards. Isak now on his way towards the penalty box. Isak cuts inside. Is there a finish this time? Still Isak. Still Isak! Yes! Alexander Isak! Murphy to Bruno. Through for Isak. Alexander Isak has scored! So simple. Inside from Murphy to Bruno, who slotted it through a gap for Isak. Drops his shoulder away from his man onto Joelinton. Isak could get it. Joelinton ball in behind. Alexander Isak for the hat-trick. He went to cross it and it was blocked. It's back with Isak. What's he got this time? Isak with the assist, laying on the third goal for Anthony Gordon.
Anderson, Castagne, Lukic, and Iwobi. Oh, it's an opportunity. That's a goal. Brilliantly taken. Carlos. They've got one and they're looking for two. Kudus now. And still he goes on. Wan-Bissaka. It's Thomas Souček. It's in towards Jimenez. Fulham have pulled the goal back. Tom Kearney is getting readied.
The European highlights of the season, featuring some international personalities. Now, let's look at a story that features a local personality, Keto Kweku, GFA president, in the news for some time as he intends to contest for CAF executive. So, the president of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kweku, has officially filed his nomination to contest for a position on the CAF executive committee with elections set for March. He will run unopposed for the seat representing Wafu Zone B, marking a significant step in his career. Previously, Okweku withdrew his candidacy in 2021 to promote unity within Wafu Zone B, allowing Jabril Hamidou of Niger to secure the position. With Hamidou now pursuing a spot on the FIFA Council, Okweku has a strong chance to claim the CAF role. Insiders suggest he has full backing from Wafu Zone B, positioning him as a key figure in African football governance. And that is our local story for our sports segment today. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Miriam Abna Adede. Up next is our main discussion with Yaira, Clement, and their guests. Stay with us.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
The family is one of nature's masterpieces.
Come on, Coach.
What the fuck? Asamu maumatia. Yamane diania. Ubinka se buduishi. Neseshia. Ibekele.
Nuwari oba fiase. Oba be uba be mama mi. Bebe se bebi se wunu ye.
Wala ka cho kuna na hunu ho. Kali hunu wanu anko ne yiri pani na wo ba ko.
E ba be. Aba no wanu. Nye bu se pani atrase ahedin. Oyire no mu mienu yi. Bi ni ma ma oba be. Ikuta mi se ko sie. Onye ma do. E me nya ya fu. Na me se mo be.
Ko sie e fu wisa. Ba. Sada no. Free at quantity.
No, my man can't trust on another animal.
Phone, I didn't pack more than a year pine. Ubet Massano, so when you so a sign of bloody baying, Umbeso Bay. Our home get to a mobile Mujaman.
Baby at the end of that is one fun to the first one. Oh, by the bay, our best son, a mamre. Nimpo, a mamre, and our son.
My name is Patience Anand. I am a young public speaker. Of course, I have built my communication and critical thinking skills.
My name is Winnie Godlawe. I am a young public speaker. Of course, it has built my connection and network. Thank you.
I am a young public speaker, of course. I have enhanced my career opportunities in aspects like law, business, teaching, and politics. I am Nana Kofi Edikeke.
I am a young public speaker. Of course, I facilitate knowledge, sharing and promoting critical thinking. Fred Frimpong Anshimon is my name.
Of course, I have learned life skills which will prepare me for real life situations. I am Samuel Kankambochi. Thank you.
Have community engagement and social change. My name is Mame Sewa Sapo.
Thank you.
Yes, you heard them right. YPS unlocks numerous opportunities for children, from presentation skills to public debate skills.
It also empowers individuals to communicate effectively, lead to make a lasting impact.
To register your child or your school on YPS, contact 055-866-3068. YPS Express to Impress.
YPS Express to Impress.
Are you ready to groove to the
TV, Beyond the Policy.
Welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our main discussion. But today's discussion comes with a little twist, and I have my co-host here with me, and he's in the person of Clement Yabankwe. He's joining me here for the main discussion with our guest, and he will be giving us the overview of today's discussion. So Clement, take us away.
We are back again.
Yeah.
And today's discussion happens to be something that Ghanaians really want to hear, because job is something that we can't do away with. But that is what puts food on our table. So if there is lack of job in the economy, it makes the economy very, very hard, and people are unable to go on with their daily activities. But I have a little data about unemployment rate in Ghana, and this specifically for the youth. So in 2021, the unemployment rate in Ghana for the youth was 17% in 2021, and out of that, we have 7% for males, and female were 10%. So in 2021, we see that the women were actually unemployed. Majority of them were unemployed. In 2022, the unemployment rate for youths, they were 16%, males were 6.5%, and females were 9.5%. In 2023, unemployment rate for the youths is 15%, and 6% of them were males, and 9% they were females. 2024 unemployment rate for the youth is 14%, and out of this 14%, 5.5% are men, the rest are females. So with this very statistics we have, that tells us that our youths, actually, majority of them are unemployed, and that should be something that the government or any other person who has the capacity to be able to create job for such people to do so, because unemployment rate actually brings a lot of issues. So we discussing job creation today. I think it's a good thing for many people who are watching us today. And around, when you look at these sectors in our regional part, that's the northern region has the highest unemployment rate as per the youth, because according to Ghana Statistical Service, it says that the national youth unemployment rate, that is from 15 to 24 years, we have 32% of these people.
Yeah.
And out of the 32%, the northern region has the highest of 39%. We have the Savannah region also getting another one of 38.2%. The northeast is 34.7%. So you could see that the northern parts of our country, they are experiencing the higher rate of unemployment. When it comes to the urban and the rural aspect of unemployment too, the urban has the highest unemployment rate as compared to the rural. The question is why? Because people know that in the villages, in the small communities, the job is not there. So everybody is running to Accra. to Kumasi to get the job. And coming to Accra to Kumasi to the question is, so these are the issues that is really facing the economy. And I know our guests would give a lot of, especially in the aspects of job creation.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as you heard from Clemens, the basic overview of our unemployment rate. So yes, that brings us to the title of today's discussion, which is priority policies for job creation. And our guest is in the person of Mr. Stephen Kwashi, and he's a seasoned finance expert. He's coming to tell us things, the things he knows, the technical know-hows and everything. Then he's also an entrepreneur with a strong foundation in both public and private sectors. And he's the CEO of Print Pro Ghana Consults Limited, and he's consulting and printing business focused on helping individuals as well as organizations to achieve their goals effectively. And he runs a rabbit farm, blending his, so he's also taking some agricultural entrepreneurship aside, in addition to the more industrial or maybe technical kind of entrepreneurship as well. So good morning.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here once again.
I'm happy to be here once again. The last time I was here was last December. Yes, and I'm happy to be back.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, I think this year we'll be able to do a lot of rounds. And speak to.
So I think we should just get straight into the conversation. But you came in December. We have new viewers. So if you can just give us a little bit of your background, tell us a little bit about the Print Pro company and then even the rabbit farming as well.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the rabbit farming. Okay. I have my passion in there. The last time I came here, I mentioned that I went to the north and I saw someone doing rabbit farming. And I like the trajectory Clement was coming from. The fact that unemployment is high at the north, and it doesn't make sense to me, because we have huge land size at the north, we have small land size in Accra, so it doesn't make sense. Like I said, you expect production to happen at the north, not even at Accra, because that's where we have the land size.
Bring it to us.
So we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
And fortunately for me, I was on a project at the north and I saw, and it was surprising to me because I was thinking that I didn't see rabbits growing in hot temperature. Because the north up there is very hot. So I just asked a few questions from them. And I saw that, okay, this is a viable business and that it is an alternative source of protein, comparing it to chicken and beef. So I decided that, okay, when I come back to Accra, I'll venture into the business. So I did my own research. I went to see other people who are into the same business. They gave me the advice and I started. And glory be to God, I'm doing well in it. The reason why I like rabbit farming is that none of its products is going to be waste. You're going to have the meat, the droppings, you're going to use it for manure. The urine, you are going to use it for pesticides, for agriculture. So that is it for rabbit farming. And that is where I have my passion. Printing business is, it brings a lot of money, but that is in the...
So along the line, we will ask you, maybe towards the end, we will ask you how you started it, because we're talking about job creation. So if someone wants to venture into a business of sorts, what they would do. So towards the end, we'll ask you how maybe you can give us brief steps so that somebody can pick up from you and then. Let's go to the Print Pro Consult.
Yeah, Print Pro, I started as a manager to a printing company. And I built expertise from that company. I always say that when we go to work at a place, already we are having unemployment challenges. So if you have the opportunity to work at a place, the least you can get from the place is salary. The most you can get from the place is knowledge and network. So whilst I was working, I was building my expertise in that field. I did banking and finance in Legon. Nothing to do with printing. But I was able to build strong expertise in the printing industry and build alongside.
Okay.
So that when I moved out, I was able to, register my own company and start a printing company by myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just about it. Yeah.
So your former boss, isn't he angry with you that you've run away and gone to start?
Oh, no, I've not run away. I just moved on.
Oh, okay. On bigger and better things, right?
I always, appreciate owners that encourages their employees to move forward, to move on, because as a person, you cannot always be under someone working. In fact, when I entered into entrepreneurship, my main goal is freedom. Because if I'm not free, I cannot allow time to even be sitting here today.
Yeah.
So
true.
my
Your boss
main
will call
goal
you to come
or seeking permission. And I always say that we are entering into a permissionless economy where you don't ask permission to do the things you value.
Okay. Wow. So that was quite inspiring, and I'm sure I'm going to start my TV station. So, yes, being a finance expert, there have been policies over the years, changes in government and the rest, but it seems as though these policies are not helping. I know of LESDEP, which was in 2011. We know of the National Youth Employment Program, the NABCO, but still we have unemployment issues in the youth. What do you think accounts for that?
So, first of all, we need to look at it from the perception, the education point of view, and who is leading the charge.
Okay.
It is important that government comes in to support private sector, but when it comes to job creation, it is on the feet of private sector.
Okay.
Government cannot employ all the youth. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
And the number of people who are looking for jobs, these are the government side, is less. So government can only be like a supporter whilst the private sector lead the charge. But what we have now is that people are dependent on government. That is why I say it is a perception and education issue. People are dependent on government. So they always want to get the jobs from the government. And because government also wants to win, its politics and progress, because government also wants to make sure that the people are in support with what they are doing, they always promise the jobs. But they know that the jobs they are promising, it needs to be hinged with the private sector. So they always come up with policies. Okay, this youth in that, youth in that, and at the end of the day, it collapses.
Okay.
Very sad for NABCO, because I have a lot of my mates, my colleagues who are within the NABCO program. And as at now, I think some people have not been absorbed yet, even though they are still working. And I want to throw a challenge to the new government that they shouldn't neglect the NABCO people who are still working, and maybe say that because they were contracted by the previous government, they want to know. They need to take the charge and make sure that they absorb them into their own system, because they've acquired the necessary skills, especially those who are at the GRA, the airports. Those people have worked so well. They need to be looked at to and, absorb them back into the system.
Okay. So I think when you're talking, you mention the fact that government is not the sole person to be held accountable for unemployment rate. So what should government do to make the environment very conducive for the private sector to actually operate?
Okay, so we have the government at one side and we have private sector at one side. Now, government needs to create, which mostly has to do with the tax regimes and the financing. That's what is going to limit the private sector. Because if I'm a rabbit farmer and I want to expand my rabbit farming so that I get a lot of people on board, what I need is funding. So that I can do about maybe 500 dough units, split it across different districts. Immediately I'm able to do that, I'll be able to get people to work at these various farms. But me as an individual, I'll not be able to raise those funds. But if a private person is able to create job and employ people, it relieves the burden from the government. So government needs to come in with the funding.
So if government comes in with the funding, isn't that almost the same as government employing so many people, like with this NAPCO initiative that they are having arrears? Those monies they could use to fund the other, maybe the private sector, would have been used to pay the people they have employed.
I get it. So the issue really is not about, paying people.
Okay.
That is the challenge we had when we got 100,000 NAPCO people into a program. We got them into the program without the job availability.
Okay.
We just brought 100 people, 100,000 people. We will put you on a program and we will pay you. Do they have the jobs? Are there vacancies that they are going to fill? The government don't have enough vacancies.
Yeah.
If we doubt it, when people are in their universities and they want to look for internship, they send letters, they don't get it. So the issue is that the government is limited in creating jobs.
Okay.
It can gather all of us and give us payments. Job. But the private sector is able to create job because private sector, it creates solutions to problems. Currently we have these sanitation issues. And we have some people like bus stop boys. Those people are creating jobs because they are solving a problem.
Yeah.
So what government has to do? It needs to partner with these guys.
Yes,
so
and give them another.
But government on its own, it becomes like some kind of bureaucracy, sanitation issues, and we don't see the end and tail of it.
But with the private sector too, at least with my little experience, I know that we have a minimum wage in the country, payment structure, right? But you realize that a degree holder in the civil service, or maybe even in the employed by the government, and a degree holder employed by the private sector, the salaries are very different. And sometimes you hear comments from people like, it is his business, he has decided he will pay this amount. And so could that be a reason, or I think it could be a reason why a lot of people tend to look to the government for employment, because they know that they will be exploited so to speak, by the private sector. Is there a way to handle an issue like this?
At the private side, it's more like a free market. It's value for value, your negotiation. But anyway, the average salary at the public side, public workers, is just about 2,600 or 700. It's less than 3,000. But you can also have certain private sectors that pay more than that. So it's more of the individual. That's why we are going to go into, how as an individual you can position yourself for, higher opportunities and now get enough salary. So it's not about private or it's not about public. It's about the individual, the value on board, and the negotiation you are placing on it.
So do you think that the government can, in partnership with the private sector, can actually decide, let's say you're a rabbit farming, company. If, let's say, you want to employ 500 people, the government impose some strict rules that, if you are going to employ 500 people, maybe this is the minimum wage for, your workers may be of different grades based on the educational value or skills they've put on themselves. So could the government actually decide to say, can they tell you that, since you're employing 500 people, if 10 of them are degree holders, they should be getting this amount. If 20 of them are HND holders, they should be getting this amount, so that they can sort of give a very streamlined payment structure for the private sector as well.
Yeah, government can do that. Like the labor laws are available for our guidance, and the fact is that the minimum wage itself is around 500 cedis per month. I'm not sure of the figure. It's not, private sector can pay that amount. That amount is very small. But what we have as a country is that 50% of our workforce are underemployed. Yes, about 50% of us are underemployed. So the work that, let's say, an SHS graduate is supposed to do, that is the work the degree holder is coming to do. So the private sector is not paying paying based on qualification. It's paying based on the value you are bringing on board and the productivity.
Okay.
So if, for example, a master's holder is doing something and a SHS graduate can do the same thing, the private guy will pick the SHS and pay a lower salary, and the SHS person will be happy.
Yeah.
And it will leave the master's person hanging.
Because that's what's happening nowadays, because we realize that people have masters in the rest, but they've been at home for 4 or 5 years or even more, based on, and I think what you said is pretty accurate. So what then can we do in a situation like this?
Yes. I think before we respond to this, I just want to chip in. See, one, you are into agriculture, you are into finance and business related. Governments have tried all its possible ways, especially to create jobs, but it seems not feasible. Yes, and for quite. So do you think that it is time for us to look at job creation in the agriculture sector?
Yes. Agriculture sector is, we always say, is the backbone of our economy, but we say it with our mouth. It doesn't reflect in our budget. The budgetary allocation for agriculture is small.
But we had a policy like Planting for Food.
So the policy is there. Now we need to go to the budgetary allocation.
Okay.
So that we know that what kind of investment are we pushing into, so that we don't only say it with our mouth. So for me, anytime there are policies, I want to look at the monies that have been allocated to that policy before I'll begin to be excited about it. Otherwise, I just see it as worse in the...
Well, so something like even the agriculture, especially as you even mentioned, the rural-urban migration. Now, there's almost no land here. So don't we think that there is a bit of a problem with the Planting for Food and Jobs if it is mainly concentrated here? Because, I mean, this is where all the ministries and the things are. This is the hub of Ghana. You mentioned that Northern region has a lot of land space. And I remember even with the previous conversation when you were here, you mentioned that with land, that's the wealth of the agriculture. So if there's a lot of land space, why hasn't the policy, the Planting for Food and Jobs, been sent out there where maybe here we can do more of the industrialization?
It's very sad. It's very sad when I think about it, because there are people who are in charge to spearhead all these decisions. They have the resources. So sometimes as an individual, you cannot do much. It is those who are in the helms of our affairs, let's say the agric minister, politicians, they are the people in charge. Right now, you mentioned agriculture. We've introduced Planting for Food and Job. But food inflation is still increasing.
Yes.
That is a big challenge. And I want to throw a challenge even to the education ministry. We need a total overhaul of our education system, our schooling system.
Why?
Our schooling system is not tailored to the solutions we are seeking as a country.
But they are introducing say science and maths, STEM education, TVET and all that. So why not tell them so?
I always look at policies and the way it's more like a PR. Okay, they've introduced STEM programs. How many schools have they introduced STEM programs? True. We have 16 regions in this country. How many secondary schools can we find STEM programs?
Can we even find one in each region?
For me, I attended Mauli School in Ho. So if you go to the schools we have, we don't only put one STEM school somewhere and make it a big for the whole country to feel like, okay, then we have STEM schools. No, it's a good start. But when we begin to hype it so much, we begin to relax. We need to do more before we begin to hype things. The reason why I say we need a total overhaul of our education system, which could even result in scrapping some of the courses at the SHS level. Because the problem we are facing in this country, one, is high unemployment. It's a national security issue. We also have price instability, inflation. And it is mostly driven by food.
Yeah.
So it comes back to agriculture.
Yes. And then even the agriculture, it's also related to the roads. Because the transportation of the foods is what causes the prices to increase because of catering to losses and the bad roads. So they'll say maintenance of their cars and things like that.
Exactly.
So I think let's speak to this data. We have a data that was yesterday, it was out, and it says that inflation has increased. And looking at it, we have 4 food items that constitutes inflation. A particular one they talked about is mbane. You see, you are so common with that. And from 2020 to 2024, the inflation rate is over 400%.
Crazy.
And they're saying all these items, they are imported commodities. So in agriculture sector, what are we supposed to do in order to create more jobs for the youth?
Agriculture is our lifeblood. That is the only thing that can save us, because agriculture has the greatest multiplier effect against all other sectors, meaning that if we invest so much in agriculture, our unemployment issues can be solved, our food security issues can be solved, and production and industrialization can all be affected. Now, what I'm actually saying is that in our schools, as for the natural resources, they are there, the land, they are there. But the human resource, are we agriculture? Are we happy? Are we happy?
Quick money.
Are we happy to do agriculture?
That's another question.
The reason why we are not happy is because we've not been exposed to it. If you are being exposed to a phenomenon for a longer time, you will get interest in it.
But some people, too, their parents have been to the farming, like cocoa, for example, but when they grow up, they decide not to join.
Exactly, like I'm saying.
I think even our attitude towards agriculture, even from SHS, is a bit, I don't know, somehow it's made negative, because when you are punished, it is to go and weed, it is to go and clear.
What I'm saying is that we need to go back to our school system, direct our education to solve our specific issues. And what I'm saying is that unemployment is high, food. So we need to make agriculture like a major theme at the SHS level. And we need to bring the mechanization, like the factories and all those stuff. And we need to introduce courses like agribusiness, agri-tech. Those are the courses I'm looking at. Agri-tech.
So can you break it down for us? Agribusiness, what is it about?
So agribusiness is like a combination of agriculture and business, finding solutions. Using agriculture to find solutions, and mostly it stems from the food production, animal production, and all. The people are not aware of it. SHS, we go to SHS, we eat food. I was discussing with one of my friends that we need to introduce national national farm competition at the school levels.
So do you think that one will solve the problem than the National Science and Math quiz?
Totally. Me, I'm a business student. I'm not against sciences. In fact, we can even talk about technology and AI. That is the future, is current and future direction. But if we have limited resources and we need to choose between championing National Science and Math quiz and championing school farms, let's push our investment into school farms. Let this school come. What have you produced? What have you produced? Then we look at your produce, and it's like a competition. At the regional level, it comes to the national level. Students are the one who are involved together with their teachers. All schools should be turning. I'm saying this passionately because I don't understand why a secondary school be there and say, we don't have food. We need to import rice from another country, and it comes with its own issues. But some of the schools have a huge land size. And they are protected areas. So our agriculture class, what are they doing? Please, we should merge the agriculture class with the business class, because the business students, they don't have any practical grounds. They don't have any. So let's merge that class with the agriculture class, so that it becomes like agribusiness.
So what about the agri-tech then?
The agri-tech is about the technology. Mostly schools, we have the tech part where they do this welding, they do a lot of innovations, productions. Yes, let us couple it with the agriculture, because we need to make agriculture the central theme in this country. We shouldn't just say that it is me and go and sleep. It needs to reflect in our education. It needs to reflect at the SHS level. Because my school, Maoli School, I'm always proud of them. I think the old students, they are actually doing something like a school farm project.
Okay.
Wow. I'm really, really proud of them because they always try to raise the bar. In Maoli School, we have a pig farm.
Oh, okay.
So when
don't the students steal the fig, kill it, and go and
no. Like I said,
pork show or something.
Yeah, we do pork show. Like I said, agriculture in the school setting is well organized.
Yeah.
So the food waste from the dining hall, that's what we send to the piggery.
Yeah.
I was the dining hall prefect at the time. So I saw how the process is.
Yeah.
And when I came out of school, I was also interested in pig farming. Only that I didn't get, the space and, pigs are a bit noisy and stuff. Yeah. Like I said, if you are being exposed to the thing at the SHS level, you begin to develop some interest. In it.
So in a situation about the school farm project, do you think that it would even be a better fit for the school feeding program where, let's say, after they've come for the competition or whatever, then what the produce is just used back in the school to feed the students so that they don't get expired rice?
When we are doing agriculture, especially people ask me this question a lot because I'm a rabbit farmer. They ask me, do people buy your rabbits? I don't see people chewing rabbit. Is there demand for rabbits? But with the school system, they already have the demand.
Okay.
They need food to eat.
Yeah, the school needs the
So
food.
if you are producing it on their land, it doesn't mean maybe Maoli School produce all the crops, or maybe this school produce all the crops. Maybe in the northern side they have expertise. They have expertise in maybe a particular crop. They should produce. Maybe you go to the Volta region. They have expertise in a particular. Okay. After that, they will be an interchange.
Yeah.
Maybe we take the rice here, we move the maize here, we bring the poultry here, eggs. They should be giving them some eggs.
Yeah.
But they don't.
You see, the whole issue here is, I think, way back my school, Shamma Senior High in Western Region, as you said, we have a pig farm.
Perfect.
And sometimes going home, they kill the pigs for the students we enjoy. I did my internship at one secondary school, the Boise Senior High in the Western Region. They had a farm, and I think the first season, all the students were asked to go to the farm. You weed, you cultivate. Then I was an intern teacher. So you cultivate the maize. We make sure the maize is at the end of the day, we harvest the maize themselves. So I think, as you are saying, I think the education sector and the Ministry of Agri should come together and boost our secondary education so that such people will develop. When they do develop interest for that and they come out, it's so easy for them to adjust to the system. Because currently we've come to understand that most of us, when you complete from school, what we want is being in suits like me, doing the office work, doing this. But maybe the other side, as you are mentioning, the rabbit business could be of help. But now my major concern is, you earlier mentioned of private sector. So what other incentive do you think government need to introduce in the private sector where these people will create more jobs?
Okay, so we can look at tax breaks for private sectors. Because about 20% of businesses, they collapse after 1 year. And it's difficult if you are a young person and you are starting a business in this country. Today, you will see GRA. They'll be calling you here and there. But if there are tax breaks targeted for the youth, that youth go ahead and start in the agriculture sector, some of the inputs we are going to supply to you, the agri inputs, we are going to supply to you as credit, not for free. And employ 1 or 2 people, and there will be a tax break for you. And at least it will begin to encourage people to enter into the sector. Because one of the sectors that are not too formalized is the agri sector. That is why the government too cannot get taxes from that sector. But already it's not formalized. You don't get enough taxes. Give proper tax breaks for them. Formalize them. You know, the only thing that you can use to draw people in is credit.
Yes.
Before I was coming, I was looking at the ADB, Agricultural Development Bank. I was looking at their loans and advances. Where does it go to? I saw that majority of their loans and finances advances it goes to corporate, the corporate loans. But the agri loans, which is supposed to be their central mandate, were lower than the corporate loans. Only that maybe we need to investigate whether the corporate are agri-corporate institutions or not. But otherwise, why is it that we have a bank specialized in agriculture and you have a lot of loans going to the other side? That is why when the current government, they want to introduce the Women's Bank, they should make sure that the purpose of the bank is just directed to what it was intended for.
So would you say that various institutions, government institution, is missing their mandate, the core mandate of its establishment?
They are missing it. They are missing it so much.
And could that be, let's say, results in the issue we have as unemployment?
Yes, it's partly the cause, because if you've been developed to do a specific thing and you change that mandate to focus on another thing, definitely it's the main intention of creating that thing to be abused. And if it's abused, you wouldn't get the necessary benefits.
Okay. So last question before we just go for a break. I would like to know that in the agriculture where you find yourself now, what is a little challenge? Assuming if a young person wants to venture into that sector.
If a young person wants to venture into agriculture, one of the challenges the person is going to face is capital. Agriculture, even though we see it as a low-level sector or job, it is capital intensive. So one of their challenges is going to be capital, and the next is going to be some form of partnership. Because to grow and grow fast, you need certain people to liaise with. So they can solve that by, first of all, formalizing themselves. That is very key. If you want to get something from a formal institution, company or the individual, you need to formalize yourself. That way, then. So capital is number one, and number two should be raw material. Because what the challenge I face is with the feed. Feed costs keep increasing. Today is at this price, tomorrow it increases. And if I'm not financially sound, by God's grace, I wouldn't be able to do this rabbit business as I want it. But for me, I want to turn this rabbit business into a big time business with factories where we slaughter, we keep the rabbits, and we distribute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a few comments here, and I think, someone has even sent Elon Musk's post on X about hardcore software engineering. So that's the soft skills. I think we'll come to that very soon. So the first comment here says, this is from Godfred Adam. He says, at least you can earn at a workplace. The least you can earn at a workplace is a salary, and the most you and skill. Very insightful. Then HM Joe says, the current government shouldn't neglect NABCO, and their skills and knowledge they've acquired will help reset and develop Ghana. HM Joe, we've seen you. You know who you are. Reset Ghana. Then this one says education and training. So this is a question. And he says, how can education and training programs be tailored to equip workers with the skills required for emerging industries and job markets? This is from Mr. Eric from Mampong. And he says, kudos to Clock TV and the Cocoa Digest team. So education and training programs, how can they be tailored to equip the workers with skills for the required emerging industries and in the job market?
In the job market. Right now, the emerging industry we have is AI, artificial intelligence. But it is human intelligence. That is why we now call it integrated intelligence. No longer
so I.
So to be abreast with time, so you need to now pick up certain skills. within the AI. AI is not going to replace our jobs. It's going to replace the jobs of people who cannot use the AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the common AI we have is the ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So we need to begin to learn how to use it. We can use it for content creation. For me, now it's making my work very easy. I am also into affiliate marketing. So I go to ChatGPT. I give it the prompt I want. And it gives me, if you can give me about maybe 30 for the whole month. So what I have to do is that every day I pick it and I post. I pick it and I post on social media. So, the opportunities are there. You just need to know what direction and go and learn. This time I always say, all the information we want is on the internet.
Yeah.
Truly, there's no need for school again. Nobody needs to go to school again.
Yeah.
Only that we will go to school for networking.
Okay. So we will come back to this conversation shortly. It's time for a quick break. When we get back, we will open the phone lines for you to call and ask your questions. But for now, you can send them to our WhatsApp number or onto our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. Stay tuned.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
Asamu maumatia yamane diania ubinka sebudushi leseshia ibikene
ni wari oba biase papa bo ba be mama mi bebe se bebi sese wunye ye
Wala ka twa kuna na huni wo kali huni wo nan kwani ne yiri na wo ba
e ba be aba no mano nye bo se pani atrase ahedin oyire no mu mienu yi bi no mama oba be kuta mi se ko sie onye ma do e me nya ye fu na me se me wo be
ko sie e fu wisa ba sada no e fu atas kwatati
Wo mahama man kan chiro so na nanu enima akola no hwe ni si amamro phone aye ni pa moja na ya pa enu ubetimi asesa no so buene guso esan abroni beyenti umbeso beye ahom keto amaba mu dwama nu
ebeni fose be bia de ni dara so wan fan to be fetro o ba obesesa amamre nimpo amamre na obesesa no wote ase
said
TV, Beyond the Policy.
You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're having our main discussion, which is on priority policies for job creation with Mr. Stephen Kwashi and my co-host, Clement Yabankwe. Do send your comments to our WhatsApp number, screens, and also to our live stream on Facebook and YouTube. We'll read them out loud. And when the phone lines are opened, I will alert you so that you can call and ask Mr. Kwashi all your questions that you would like answered. So, back to the conversation. We're talking about AI. I have an issue with this AI thing because of our low literacy rates. Yeah, talking about AI and digitalization. And we have people who have education up to maybe basic 4. If I'm not even exaggerating. How are people like this going to be able to even start taking up this and in benefiting from these digital platforms?
Yeah, thank you very much. And, not all jobs are relevant to all people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to understand. And such a person, if doesn't have the leverage, there are other things the person can do.
Okay.
Always we need to focus on our strengths.
Our strengths.
Take advantage of your advantages. So if your disadvantage is in maybe literacy and you are struggling with it, definitely there is something you can do.
Okay.
You should focus on that. It doesn't mean you cannot also cross over. If you are determined, you can cross over.
So we have a few comments here also, and this one is from HMJ. He says, I side with Stephen on the number of subjects students are subjected to in our high schools. They should be fit for purpose. Thank you so much. I think we'll come back to that conversation because I think I wanted to ask a question. And then Godfred Adam says, loving the convo. Now, HMJ again says, that's a wonderful agriculture in these schools. I think that's about the school farm project. This should be implemented in every senior high school. Thank you so much for your comments. Please do keep them coming. This one says, so this is from Joshua 5786. I would love to hear more. And then we have, I would like to say a big thank you to you and your team. This is my first time watching the Digest show, and I've really learned a lot. I'm also a proud old student of Mauli School, and shout outs to your guests. This is from Patience Mensa Redeemer. So, back to the education conversation.
I think before you go to education, I still have digital issues. Let him respond to that. Then, he just go back. So what role actually do you think digital transformation in our current economy, do you think digital transformation is needed in the aspect of job creation?
Yeah, it's very needed. And it is low cost. That is the interesting thing. Needed, and it is low cost. So I'm not even surprised that if you look at the manifestos of the NDC, you look at the manifestos of the NPP, both parties have digital drive in there.
Okay.
And I intend to train about 1 million people in digitalization.
Okay.
Very necessary. Now you need to look at the jobs or the skills within the digital space. You can have something like graphic designing.
Okay.
Don't look down on some of the jobs.
No.
I mean,
we have
to the
good
team.
graphic designers, especially in Block TV.
Yes, before I came, full design for me. I posted it on my WhatsApp. I posted it on my LinkedIn. I posted it on my Facebook.
Oh wow!
And people started loving it.
For our people, when it comes to graphic designing, it's so perfect.
It's a top skill.
Okay.
Graphic designing, and you can do it from your home.
Yeah.
You don't need to even move from one end to another. It's a skill. Videography, photography.
We have a special shout out to photographer.
These things are things people really sometimes look down upon.
They look down upon. We are not. I don't know. We have a problem.
Yeah, but
things that are going to help us.
That's saturated, especially with these digital skills. The cyber, digital marketing, UI, UX design, all of that too. A lot of people are entering into that space, and it's getting saturated. So you get people saying, I've learned it, but I'm not getting any jobs.
Yeah, the space, the reason why I'm saying that space is low cost is because it can cross border.
Yeah.
Yes.
job
and do a job for somebody in US for graphic designing. So it can never get saturated. The market is wide.
Very wide.
You know, I always say, when we start our education from the SHS level, one of the skills we need to learn is selling skill. We need to learn how to sell.
Selling in terms of
marketing.
Selling anything. We need to learn how to sell.
Doesn't mean that currently we don't have that selling skill.
We don't know how to sell.
But our mothers and those who do negotiation, or you don't think so?
But that's that generation. You and I, can we go and sell?
Yeah, they are doing well.
Okay.
They are doing well, but not so much.
Okay. So what is lacking?
You know, we need to do a selling from the point of view to solve problems.
Okay.
Where if you are selling to someone, the person doesn't feel like you are pestering him or her, or you are forcing the. But if you are selling to someone, the person will think that, hey, this person has thought of me very well to bring this product to me. Hey, this person is very, very good. Why is that we cannot sell insurance in this country? Why is that people don't have health insurance? Why is that people don't have life insurance? Something that is very, very critical for our life. But people have car insurance.
Yes.
Have you thought of it? Why is that people have car insurance? People don't have life insurance. We don't know how to sell.
Sell it. Okay.
And if we want to learn how to sell, we the buyers, we need to also learn how to buy. You know, it goes.
Sellers need to learn how to sell. Buyers need to learn how to buy.
Yeah, because it goes back to the kind of education we need to have as a country. The business education we have at the secondary school level is not enough.
Okay.
It's not helping. We need to be blunt with this truth. It needs to be scrubbed off. You want to buy this phone?
Yes, so you are selling. Just a small narration for viewers to know how to sell and how to buy. How to sell and how to buy. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
How is your business?
Oh, by grace, it's moving well.
How is family too?
They are just so wonderful.
My name is Stephen.
I'm Clement.
Okay. So, I have a beautiful product here. I'll not show it to you now. But after a few presentations, I would let you have a look at it.
But I'm kind of busy right now. I want to go for a meeting.
Okay. So can I get your contact?
So my PA will give you the contacts.
Okay. So where can I meet your PA?
Just outside after this shot.
Okay. So, let's go. So at that point, this selling will pause here. Okay. No, the reason why I did that is because selling is not forcing.
Okay.
Selling is not persuasion. I'm not persuading you to buy. Do you get it?
Yeah.
I'm just help you to get something that I know it will help you. So I need to go through a process. So selling has a process.
Okay.
It's not by force. So today, I don't intend to sell the phone to you today. It's not today I'll sell the phone to you.
Okay.
I know it's not today. I need to show you some of the benefits of using mobile phones. Maybe you don't know. I need to let you know that if you have a family member in US you've not heard for so long, I need to let you know that this phone can help you connect with that person. I want to let you know that this phone, if you want to take pictures, you can use this phone to take pictures. I want to let you know so many benefits that will help you. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen one time.
Yes.
The problem is that we don't know how to sell. We want to sell today and now.
And now.
Selling is relationship building.
But
if you build relationship,
I just want to say something before you come in. I think viewers, today you've gotten one job opportunity. We are talking about job creation. And this happens to be one job opportunity. I think you don't want to let it go. So now how to sell. So this one is bonus. Just take it home.
Learning is relationship.
But I think
building.
I want to see you. For lack of a better word, convincing him to buy. That is where because this one the PA, this is after month. But let's say you've got him now.
What will happen is that when I get the PA's contact, I'm going to do a follow up. I want to speak to Mr. Clement. So that Mr. Clement will give me another opportunity to see him. So meaning that does not have a phone. Let's assume it. It means that he doesn't have a phone. So
I think you are speaking. Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Or maybe he has a certain phone, but not to a certain quality.
Yeah.
So now I need to get to Mr. Clement, begin to tell him some of the benefits of my phone.
Okay.
Without even discussing price.
Okay.
I need to let is going to help him in his business and all that.
Okay.
When he now agrees, then I show him the product.
Okay. So can we still have a small preview of it?
Yes. So this phone, I've seen your business you are doing. You are doing a rabbit business. But I can see it's not on social media.
No, it's not.
So because of that, you don't have a lot of audience. Do you know if you have a lot of audience, you can get enough market? So I want you to use this phone. This is my phone. The camera quality is very high. So I'll go with you to your rabbit farm. We take few pictures with this phone and post on social media. Now you can also use this phone to do more content creation. And we also use to post on social media. Now, what will be happening in Clement's mind is that he begins to see the importance of this phone. And now when this phone is beginning to benefit him, now he knows that, okay, I can use this phone to do this and that. He will now ask me, how much is this phone?
So I have a question. So, okay, you're holding an iPhone. This is not marketing for any brands, but let's say, since you're holding an iPhone, he has an Android, and you know that he has an Android, but you want him to buy your iPhone. Does that mean that you will try to, let's say with you try to do some comparisons for him that if you use this iPhone rabbits, the pictures will be clearer as a way to convince him as well. Is that a part of it?
I'll do that, but mostly in my selling, I don't want to so much focus on the alternative.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to focus on what I'm selling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he has this phone here, so he'll say, but send me a phone that
so I'll still focus on
what you are saying.
Correct. Let me show you how I got a calendar printing business. Okay. I went to an office just this year. I'm just talking about this year. I went to an office and I spoke with the woman. I was supposed to do a job for her.
Okay.
Then the calendar on her desk is 2024. So I saw it. I didn't talk at all. I know she has a problem. That is a problem sitting on her desk. She doesn't know it yet. But I will begin to expose it to her.
Okay.
So I went back and I went to do a sample calendar. So on my next meeting, I showed it to her. She doesn't. It's a big company. So when I showed it, she said, "Oh, Steve, now we cry. Now we say calendar no, but adaji any we my nice. We now also want to mean flipping we so into we no. It's a flip one, but we all the years are on one page with the
okay.
And I said, nice. So I've been doing some works for them and said, okay. He asked me of the price, we negotiated, and I need to print for the other offices.
Okay.
So selling is, like I said, selling is a relationship building. Okay. People will not buy from you unless they know you, they like you, and they trust you.
No,
like and trust. So if I'm selling, I'm not in a rush at all. Like you are saying, maybe I need to sell it today. I don't want to sell it today. In fact, I want to get to know the guy very well. Have some cool relationship with him. Let me show you another time somebody bought on Facebook. Posted my rabbit flyer and the person asked me. And I just move away from my rabbit selling. I asked him, how is he? He said he's fine. I asked him that. I stay at Ablekuma. Where do you stay? And he said, oh, he's also at Ablekuma. He said, oh.
Nice one.
Next, he said, Afa. In my selling, my first step is to create the relationship. Yeah. So if I create a relationship, everything is just going to be it will be a follow-up. Yeah. So like I'm saying, selling is a science. And when we learn how to sell, it doesn't matter whether the skill is saturated or not. We'll be able to stand out.
Okay.
And
so
earn
I think
money.
one thing I've picked from a lot of what you've said is that you identify a need of your customer and then you meet it for them. So like with the calendar issue and even Mr. Clement and his rabbits farm, he doesn't have a social media page, so you use that. So viewers, one of the ways to sell, identify a problem for your customers and then try to sell your item to meet that need for them. Yes, we were.
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
On a digital scale,
Okay.
I want to throw the challenge to the youth. You know, we have about 275 or 76 MPs.
76, yes.
Some of them have social media presence.
Yes.
Some of them do not.
Yeah.
Those who do not have social media presence, they have a problem. Just that they don't know it yet.
It's true.
So can people begin to look out for the MPs who do not have social media presence?
This one is free job opportunity.
Yes. Tailor something and show it to them that MP, the way the world is going, you need to be out there for people to see the policies and things like the contributions you are making on parliament. Your people need to see.
Yeah.
So those who do not have Facebook, those who do not have LinkedIn, those who do not have and even TikTok.
Hey, TikTok.
You want to become MP on TikTok. You want to now connect with the constituency. So I want to be your social media manager for MP of so and so.
But that being said, to make sure you are trustworthy, because these are public officials. If you go and you take this advice and you go and do something bad, please don't come and mention Cocoa Digest. We are not bad.
I think this one is not only in terms of ministers and MPs. At least you know your uncle who is doing business, not on social media. People around you who don't have social media presence, you think it's very good for them. You quickly do that. But I think that's one of what our videographer is doing for the church. It's really propagating the presence of this man of God on there.
Maybe it's because I like money, but in a situation like this, if the person now tells you, what then happens?
Yes, that's another
because
question.
it is a job creation avenue, and this job creation is for sustenance.
Yes.
To get something in your pocket to survive, right?
Yeah.
So what happens in a situation like that?
Yeah. So when you start, you need to do pro bono, especially if the person is not willing to pay. You need to let the person get the value. Always when you sell, the value must be bigger than the price.
Okay.
So if the person has not seen your value yet, you keep pushing the value. And what happens is that now I do it for you for free. Now I have some to show to another person that this is what I'm doing for Mr. A or B. So if you are not paying me with your work, I can use to get another job and get payment for it. Before I started selling rabbit, before I entered into rabbit farm, this is one advice the guy gave to me. You know, sometimes it's not as if the people have to be in suit or PhD before you take the advice. This is the guy I bought my cages from. He told me that, Steve, before you start your rabbit farm, start selling the rabbit so that people will get to know that you do rabbit before your rabbit begins to produce. I fly. You know, I'm already in the printing industry, so quickly I got my fly and I started selling rabbits before my rabbit started producing.
Okay. So our phone lines are open, so you're welcome to call and ask your questions. And if not, you can send your messages to our WhatsApp number displayed on the screen. We have the call number displayed at the moment. The WhatsApp number will also come. Or as you are joining the live stream on Facebook and YouTube, you can also send your comments there. So we have a few. One says, I am loving Cocoa Digest concrete design setup. I am Mrs. Erin Ayiku, all the way from the Savannah region. To my question about the labor market regulations, how can labor market regulations such as minimum wage laws and worker protection policies to promote job creation while ensuring treatment of workers? Hey, madam, this I've come for my job. But we'll come back to that question. Let me read another comment here. This one says, I really agree with Stephen, since mastering the art of sales is unlocking unlimited investors that come into Ghana to start up businesses and things, but after some time they leave. What do you think the government can do to capitalize on that? Because something like, even while on the break, oil, refineries and stuff like that, and mostly these are foreign companies. When they leave, we are also just left hanging. What can we do to mitigate such an issue?
We need to find out why they are leaving. Maybe some of their challenges.
Economic downturn.
Yes, some of their challenges. And
because last year about 4 or 5 companies left.
Yeah, they left.
Even restaurants, a lot of them keep folding up.
Yeah, but remember that as a business, if something is not going right, sometimes you can close down and start another one.
Okay.
In a different sector. Yeah. But if it's a challenge that can be corrected, then the government should, look at them. We need to establish long-term contracts with these foreign investors. When they come and settle, maybe they're into oil production and stuff like that, we should have a long-term contract with them, so that they can stay. What are their challenges as a government? Because government, I always say, you cannot create jobs, enough jobs. Yeah. Government jobs are mostly like security service, office works, and most of them are not even production related.
Yeah.
They are more like the office works and they are not production related.
Kwame Nkrumah wanted to start, or he started this industrialization with the factories and things. That's what a lot of even a larger portion of our economy even depends on. Yeah. So why not continue something like that? Because if, let's say, with the oil conversation we had while on the break, these people come, we give them a contract that, okay, as you've come, maybe they like giving them tax waivers, so let's use tax waivers. Tax waiver, but train these people, operate here for this number of years, for these people to be able to stand on their own. When you get all your FDI and things and you are leaving, we can also benefit. Is that something that you think the government can do?
Yeah, government can do a lot of things, but it needs to be in a proper context, especially the industry.
Okay.
Maybe somebody is coming in, he wants a tax waiver, but the industry the person is operating in, the impact is going to have on the economy is not much. So the person really doesn't need to get that tax waiver.
Yeah.
We need to give tax waivers to industries or firms that the effect is going to have on our economy will be great, especially on employment. That is what we have to look at, and that is where data is important. The research, they look at this industry, because when I read the data, I realized that agriculture has a higher multiplier effect, meaning that if you put $1 million in agriculture, the effect is going to be more than if you put it in manufacturing, if you put it in service sector. So it's all driven by data. So we need to have the data to back some of these tax waiver decisions we are giving to these foreign investors. So that when you make them, people will not say it's a political move or it is that move. Then we are all okay.
So I think you mentioned of agriculture, and earlier you mentioned that the various secondary schools need to have schools farm. Do you also think that we need to have a national farm?
National farm.
Yes,
people will lose it.
Because for the fact, for example, our cocoa, for example, we buy it from, let's say, individuals, citizens. Can we have a situation that you think that we should have a vast land where this will be a national farm, where people will be working on it for the nation? Is there something like that possible?
It's also possible.
But I think when the variations in input affect the returns, because if the three of us buy a plot of land based on, so you bring the largest portion, I bring 2/3, you bring 1/3 or something, and you own a very small portion of it, wouldn't that affect the dynamics of the ROI?
I think let me make my point more clear. As at 2020, 2018, government introduced a policy like planting, the tree planting. And as at then, they clear the forest. They will clear all the forests. I'm from Takrady, so I know that side. The boss, we have a forest under the Subri forest. They clear a part of the forest and they plant new trees, big timbers. Once they clear the forest, they give it to the citizens. They'll be planting those kind of food crops, so that once they do that, they'll be monitoring the growth of the trees. And something like this.
Hold on, we have a caller on the line. Please hold that thought. Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the Cocoa Digest show. Fafa.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Fafa. Thank you so much for calling.
I'm calling from Ayukuma.
Okay. So what's your question, please?
Please, I didn't join in early today. I joined in when they were discussing about how to sell.
Okay.
And this is a stay-home mom who wants to start a business. But looking at things, I realized that starting on a small scale is quite very expensive in Ghana here. Because especially that the man is saying he's into printing. When you print less, it's more expensive. When you print more, it's cheaper. And I decided to sell somebody's products whilst I order my product to sell. But the price at which the person is giving me is high. And because I'm new into the market, I want to penetrate the market with a low price. So even with that, I'm finding it difficult to even resell what she is selling before waiting for mine. So in such a situation, what can I do? Thank you.
Thank you too.
What she said again?
She said she just mentioned somebody's products.
Yeah. Okay.
Do we still have Fafa on the line?
I think she's off.
Okay. If Fafa, you can text us what exactly you are selling, so he can tailor his advice. Maybe make it a little generic here.
Yeah. So let's say general.
Yeah.
You are selling something. I think she said she wants to use price penetration strategy.
Yeah.
You know, lower price to enter into the market. So
but she's also retailing somebody's
She's also retailing
products
and stuff. So it means that whatever it is, somebody is going to beat her to price. Whatever it is, if you have more information, you know that somebody is going to beat her to price. In fact, price cutting is not the best strategy. Price cutting is only the best strategy if you have large audience.
Please come again.
Price cutting is not the best strategy.
Okay.
It's only the best strategy if you have large audience.
Wow.
Where if you cut the price, the audience will come in and pick it, and it will balance it off.
So a situation like Fafa, she doesn't have the audience.
Large audience.
She just said she's now entering into
Fafa, what Fafa needs to do is to look for high-end buyers. What Fafa needs to do now is to look for high-end buyers for her product.
Okay.
That is the work most people cannot do.
Okay.
So Fafa needs to put upon herself to research high-end buyers. And even when she does that, she can now even increase her prices and not even drop the price. Now, like I said, I don't know the product she's selling, but mostly the people who are high earners in this country are older, maybe above 50 years. They have more money than the younger people. I don't know her product again, so I don't know where she can find her customers. Otherwise, if she knows her customers, she needs to look at where the high earners sit, where the high earners play. For me, I go to places. I go to places not because I really want to go to those places, but because I want to meet certain people.
Okay. So we even have a question here. It says, we had State Farms. What happened to them? But
so my question, I think someone has. Yes.
Someone has asked your question, but then our time is up. So we will just
Fafa, look for somebody at the high end who can buy. If you want to be rich, sell to the rich, and that is simple for you.
Again.
If you want to be rich, sell to the rich.
Finding the rich people is a problem.
It's a problem. So that's where the work is, and you have to do it. I really wanted to, because job creation is linked to value creation. I really wanted to talk about value creation.
I think we will have to do part two. Yes.
So that we now talk about value creation.
Value creation for the job market.
As a wrap up, I would encourage all of us. Thankfully, we are all youth. I would encourage all of us that we shouldn't do one job. If your employer limits you to one job, leave that employer.
Please, again.
If your employer limits you to one job, leave that employer.
So meaning we should multitask?
Multiple streams of income. Some will not require you to move from your place.
Yeah.
Some will require you to do it in the evenings because of the digital skills you are going to build. Because one source of income will never cut it in this economy. So 2-3 streams of income must become a norm for this country. Don't laugh at your friend who is posting sneakers on his status. Don't laugh at your friend who is posting perfumes on his or her status. Those are the rich people. In fact, you need to begin to associate with them. Because they've, to sell, you need to break away from a certain stereotype before you'll be able to sell. So if you see someone selling, you should know that that person is a successful person.
I'm a seller.
We have one more comment here, then we wrap up. But I think it's a question. Maybe for the part 2, I'll try and remember to ask again. But this one says, it's also from another person called Stephen. He says, I'm enjoying the discussion. Can Stephen help us to know the most efficient techniques in selling to serve as a benchmark? Thanks. This is from Stephen Morrison from East Legon. Now, Fafa says she sells kids' wear and kids' activity books. So nice the mothers and parents,
she already has a rich client because the clients around those places are older. She will start.
Thank you so much. This has been a very insightful conversation. This brings us to the end of this conversation. Thank you so much, Clement, for joining me here. And of course, thank you to Mr. Stephen Kwashi. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, management, our sponsors, our production team. A big thank you to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you again on Tuesday, bright and early. Do have an amazing week ahead.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
What